All right, we had some technical issues. I will ask Councilwoman Brown to continue her comments regarding, were you done with Valentinians and Miss Berhow? We are live streaming. All right.
You a hater. All right. So we were talking about ventilation. We were talking about buildings department. We were talking about selling marijuana. I was talking about OCM. All right. So OCM has us in a pickle because when they legalized cannabis, they made OCM the only enforcement board, right? And of course, they are understaffed. They take forever to get to the city, or they never come to the city to shut down a business. So we really don't have any authority. They did pass, the governor in her budget passed legislation that allows for us to enact laws, but the way they've passed it, it doesn't really give us the true authority to go ahead and enforce, right? Because they require us to have a court date within 10 days, but then the labs are backed up for 2 years. So we would never be able to have the actual evidence to shut down someone who's selling the marijuana illegally. So that's the issue that we're having with the cannabis stores. And it's not just if, I'm gonna say allegedly, but if this shop is selling cannabis, there are numerous bodegas that we know are selling. So we're trying to figure out a way to clamp down on this issue. So I'm hoping that we can come up with something within the next month or so. And with regard to the guns, Antoinette, can we follow up with PD to have someone go in and check to ensure that we have those legally, if they're there, allegedly, all right? So yes, and then can we make sure we get Mrs. Berhow's information so that we can follow up and give her an update as well. Mr. Miller. Yeah, 12:30 to 9 a.m. is crazy. And so first, I'm sorry that this is happening, right? I'm sorry that, and I've seen this happen, that people kind of turn their places into clubs. So there's a few things that we can do. I think what's important that you said is that we don't have an active buildings department here 24/7, and other municipalities do. And because we don't have an active buildings department 24/7, people take advantage of the hours that buildings department isn't the enforcement agents or the people who can inspect aren't working. I think what the city should do is move to make sure that we have personnel 24/7, right? Just like other municipalities, we should have a hotline that constituents can call in after hours, and they can, or there can be investigations done after hours. So I think this needs to happen in a few ways. And Council President, I'm hoping that we don't actually participate in the union negotiations. Part of it is we need to make sure that we have the authority to change shifts for some of the union members, right? So we need to make sure that we have an eye on that, and when the negotiations happen, that's something that we have in this current CBA that we're negotiating. Another thing is, I know the commissioner, the deputy commissioners, they don't have set hours. So perhaps they are the ones who are going out on these calls. So maybe we can establish some type of hotline. So if we can bring this up with the administration, I think that'll be helpful. I think also the fact that a police officer will come out to the car, get out of his car, put a flashlight on an illegally parked car, and then return to business per usual, is insane, right? I think that shouldn't happen, especially if you've taken the time to respond to a complaint. So what I would ask from you is, when you make these calls, if there's a response that you believe should not happen, contact us, right? So that we can follow up with PD and see who actually went out on the call, make sure that person gets the proper training. And if it's a continuous thing, you have it. I love it. Can we share it with Antoinette as well so that we can get on it and speak to PD? Because if we don't say something to them, it'll continue to happen. And we've had people come in and complain about similar things, right? So I want to make sure that we address it. And the only way to address it is to identify exactly who's doing it. So I think that'll be helpful. And then we can also see if we can get a directed patrol at that house as well, for various things, right? There's noise complaints, there are people loitering, there illegally parked cars. So I think if we focus on that area, we could probably affect some change. So that's what we'll do. And then we'll give you an update on that as well. So we have your email, but if you can also provide internet with your cell phone, if you're comfortable, that'd be helpful. Mr. Bunch, good to see you. Man. So first of all, I applaud Kingsbridge for coming out as a team today. You brought a whole crew with you. I love that. With the business, so I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure what ordinances we have on the books about the idling at those hours, but I'll check to see. But I think one thing that we can do is we can reach out to DPW, and this is something that they can be enforcing as well. But I'll do some research to figure out exactly what the ordinance is. And I think a lot of our issues comes down to enforcement, right? And making sure we get the personnel out into the right places. So if there's littering, if there's noise, the business owners are required to keep their property clean. So we need to start writing them violations to kind of motivate people to keep their property clean, right? So I think if we can also ask the commissioner to have folks out doing some abatement of nuisance violations, that'd be helpful in that area. And I'll do some research on what laws we have regarding the idling. All right. That's it for me, Council President.
All right, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
no, sorry.
Okay, hold on.
I
Go
apologize.
ahead, Councilwoman Brown.
I apologize. Ms. Smith, sorry, for the animal shelter. As far as I know, I haven't received an update. So like you, I thought that the work on the animal shelter was going to be done. Is it possible that we can get a letter from Council President, from the whole council, asking for an official update?
Absolutely. I think there's a few items that we need to have official updates on, and yeah, that's definitely at the top of the list.
Okay, awesome. So I think that way we can be able to better provide you an answer. And I'm concerned, like you are, Ms. Smith, that we may lose funding because the city is definitely not in a position to lose any funding. So if we only have 2 years, we would need to get on it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, I think that city council covered it very well. I just have Councilman Potteet. Oh, I didn't want to hear what you had to say. Go ahead, Councilman Potteet.
Jeez.
I'm off my game tonight. Sorry.
Good evening. Thank you for being here. You could be anywhere, but we're grateful that you're here with us on a Wednesday night. I will be very brief because my council members pretty much said what I had to say. Ms. Burhow, thank you for having a wonderful restaurant in Fleetwood. I will stop by personally, like Councilmember Thompson will too, to see what's happening with that business. I've also sent an email to the DOB commissioner and his staff to see if they could go and then check up on that business too. But thank you for coming and telling us what's happening there. Mr. Miller and Mr. Bunch, thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing Kingsbridge out. Briefly, we do not do a great job here of quality of life issues. So my council mates will do the work that they're going to do. So I don't want to replicate that, but I'll be meeting with the PD commissioner and the building commissioner generally and just saying, what's our plan when quality of life issues come up? What's our strategy for how to get that fixed? But as they've said, please stay on top of us to make sure that we are addressing those issues. And that's all that I have. Thank you, Council President.
As I started to say, I think our council members covered each issue very well. One of the things I wanted to say, Ms. Burha, we really appreciate your business here in Mount Vernon. I did give Antoinette the number for our director of the IDA, Robin Mack, who's our industrial development agency director. She's been very good in mitigating issues between landlords and business owners and between businesses. So I hope you utilize that, and I hope things get better because we do appreciate your business here in Mount Vernon. You know, you guys, not only did you invest in the restaurant, you also have a construction company here in the city, and we greatly appreciate it. Mr. Miller, I think that our council members covered that. I think a directed patrol is definitely something that's needed. That's why I asked you a second time what the address was. Parking in front of people's businesses. I mean, that's ridiculous, but I'm glad that Councilwoman Brown is gonna look up the idling issue and see, you know, if there's not something on the books, what we can create to put on the books, right? Because that's what we do. We're legislators. But the quality of life and people running through the streets, you know, urinating on people's property, it's just unacceptable. Mr. Bunch, I just want to compliment you. You know, you take being a district leader very seriously, and I love that about you because even if it's in your district or outside your district, when you see that there's an issue, you always bring it to our attention. So I greatly appreciate that. I am also going to recommend, I will have Antoinette Anderson send an email to Director Mack, in addition to Councilman Thompson, to see if she can have a conversation with them also to see if they can come up with some plan to mitigate the issues of what's going on there. I mean, to pull into people's park driveways, I mean, that's an insurance issue on them also. And Ms. Smith, again, we'll write a letter to the administration and finding out what is going on with the animal shelter. I'm a huge animal advocate. Probably you might get upset about this, but probably one of the reasons why the animal shelter was closed, because I just felt like, you know, I made a big deal about cleaning it up because the animals were just living in filth. And it's not because of the people that were taking care of the shelter. You know, they did their best with the resources that they had. I mean, they really did their very best. But let's see what's going on and how we could move that project forward if it's fiscally responsible for us to move it forward. And with that being said, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope you feel like your voice was heard. Sometimes we can't be in all 4 square miles of Mount Vernon, so it's really important that the community come out and engage us. And even when you see us in the street, just, you know, don't say, I don't want to bother you. You know, our job really is, you know, it might be part-time, but it's a part-time job with full-time hours, and we take it very seriously. So I thank you all for being here tonight. Right now, we're going to get into our tally sheet. So we're going to take a 2-minute break. Okay, so that if you guys want to just say hello or, you know, greet each other, that's fine, but it's getting late tonight, so I'd like to only take a 2-minute break. All right, guys? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, pardon me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back to our public meeting. We are starting with our tally sheet and legislation and public works. Councilwoman Danielle Brown.
Thank you, Council
F8.
President. I have item number 1, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services to issue a request for proposals for the selection of a vendor to implement a municipal broadband solution, including free public Wi-Fi in select locations. That's on the agenda. I have item number 2, an ordinance authorizing 3 staff members from the mayor's office to attend the Cities United 11th Annual Convening in Seattle, Washington. That's on the agenda. I have item number 3, an ordinance authorizing budget line transfers for the Department of Public Works to cover current negative balances and support future purchases. That's on the agenda. I have item number 4, an ordinance authorizing a request for proposal for design and construction inspection services for the rehabilitation of South Fulton Bridge and East 3rd Street Bridge. So for the record, this is going to be on the agenda, but this legislation is essentially being amended to take out the East 3rd Street Bridge because we technically don't have any funding for that bridge yet. So that item is on the agenda amended. I have item number 5, an ordinance authorizing emergency mold abatement and repair services at Station 1 Lincoln Avenue Firehouse. That's on the agenda. I have item number 6, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to commit the 10% non-federal matching share for the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for the South 3rd, that should be Avenue, and South Columbus flood mitigation project. I have item number 7, ordinance amending ordinance number 3 adopted by the city council on June 26th, entitled an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds for the purchase of a new vehicle for the Department of Public Works utilizing ARPA funds. I have item number, yeah, that's on the agenda. I have item number 8, an ordinance authorizing an emergency contractual agreement with PCI Industries for sewer repair at 656 Hanover Place on the agenda. Have item number 9, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency contractual agreement with PCI Industries for emergency sewer repairs at 27 Vernon Place on the agenda. Item number 10, an ordinance authorizing the attendance of Monica Hughes and Milton Van at the 2024 Catalyst Experience hosted by Roll Water Lab on the agenda. Item number 11, an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds to the 2024 City Council account for the purchase of furniture and supplies, office supplies. This letter was amended, so there's only a transfer from one line for $1,000. And then, I'm sorry, that's on the agenda. Item number add-on is, geez, I have a lot. All right, I have item number 33, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon, New York, recognizing and honoring the service of Burcella and Mastro Auto Collision Specialist on the agenda. Item number 34, a resolution appointing Commissioner of Deed for the City of Mount Vernon, September 2024 to September 2026. So for those who didn't have the opportunity to review the email, this is Commissioner of Deeds is similar to a notary, but it gives the city the ability to name people who can essentially stamp or Commissioner of Deed of the document, I guess it's called. I don't know what it's called. But this is the list, and the reason that this is an add-on because their Commissioner of Deeds expired yesterday, I believe. But for future reference, there's a system that is being put in place so that we don't have these last-minute add-ons. So that's on the agenda. Item number 35 is a resolution authorizing the appointment of Gita Morris to the Charter Revision Commission to fill a vacancy pursuant to section 268G of the Mount Vernon City Code. That is on the agenda. And Council President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Human Resources, Councilman Thompson.
Thank you, Madam President. I have item number 12 from Recreation, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Westchester County Office of Senior Programs. That's on the agenda. Item number 13 from the Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an agreement with Bedrock Entertainment for videography services. That's on the agenda. Item number 14 from the Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau to hang banners and signs at various locations and to discourage or prevent opioid misuse. That's on the agenda. Item number 15 from the Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Flying Classroom for the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau Saturday STEAM program, which is ran October 5th through November 23rd, 2024, in amount of $18,000. That's on the agenda. I have items 16 through 23. They will all be on the agenda. And these are all resolutions. 16 is a resolution for Sidney DeCombie. 17 is a resolution. I'm sorry. Greater Hudson Valley. 18 links. I'm sorry, links. Chapter of links. 18 is for Linda L. Jacobs. 19 is for Krista Mann. 20 is for Amira Roberts. 21 is for Jennifer Vadraska. I hope I didn't mess that up. 22 is for Loretta Hottinger. And those are all for the YCOP celebration, which is tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. at the Green Tree in New Rochelle. And our last one, 23, is recognizing Reverend Derek Adams, who is the pastor of Greater Emmanuel Episcopal on Fifth Avenue. He'll be moving up to bishop designate. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilman Potteet, Public Safety and Codes.
Great. Thank you, Council President. I have item number 24 from Buildings and Ordinance authorizing the Department of Buildings to solicit a request for proposal for outside contract services for fire safety and property maintenance inspections of multi-dwelling and non-residential properties. That will be on the agenda. Item number 25 will be on the agenda, and from the IDA, an ordinance granting permission to the mayor to enter into an agreement with Con Edison to conduct a test borehole for the Thermal Energy Network pilot project at the Doles Recreation Center. Item number 26 will be on the agenda from Public Safety and Ordinance, authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Westchester for replacement of the current single band VHF antenna with the tri-band antenna at the Mount Vernon Police Headquarters. Item number 27 will be on the agenda from Public Safety and Ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Westchester to accept mutual aid radios for use by the Mount Vernon Police Department. Item number 28 will be on the agenda from Public Safety and Ordinance authorizing the increase in funding for the position of personal associate in the Department of Public Safety and reappropriating funds from a vacated position formerly titled as personal specialist. Item number 29 from Public Safety will be on the agenda, and ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a renewal contract agreement with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets for fuel inspection and testing services. Item number 30 will be on the agenda from Public Safety and Ordinance, amending ordinance number 45, adopted by the City Council on August 14th, 2024, entitled An Ordinance Authorizing the Mayor to enter into a contract with Electronic System Solutions, ESS, for the installation and maintenance of a citywide camera surveillance system. Item number 31 will be on the agenda from City Council, a local law to amend Chapter 267 of the Code of the City of Mount Vernon to regulate short-term rentals. And lastly, item number 32 will be on the agenda from City Council, a local law establishing a local government code enforcement program in the city of Mount Vernon, New York. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much. We do not have anything for finance and planning, and so we can go right into our roll call, please, clerk.
Thank you, Council President Gleason. Councilman Boxell. Councilwoman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Potteet. Here. Councilman Thompson,
Here.
Council President Gleason.
Here.
Okay.
That being said, let's go into legislation and public works. Councilwoman Brown.
Thank you, Council President. I have item number 1, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Management Services to issue a request for proposals for the selection of a vendor to implement a municipal broadband solution, including free public Wi-Fi and select locations. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
I have an ordinance, item number 2, authorizing the 3 staff members from the mayor's office to attend the Cities United 11th Annual Convening in Seattle, Washington, October 1st, 2024 to October 4th, 2024. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
On the question, I will not be supporting this, partly because the constituent services director is going and has no responsibility with a public safety plan, so it's confusing while we're authorizing him to go.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
No.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Doesn't really matter. It's the second vote, right? We've got the 3.
Yes, it's
Okay.
the second.
All right, moving on.
You gotta vote.
But I need your
Oh, I'm
vote.
sorry. No.
No, okay. So we have 2 nays, 3 ayes. This is a second vote. The legislation does pass.
Thank you. Item number 3, an ordinance authorizing budget line transfers for the Department of Public Works to cover current negative balances and support future purchases. Department of Public Works. Oh, I don't know, just future purchases. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye. Yeah, aye. This is confusing tonight. Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Right now. I have an ordinance authorizing a request for proposal for design, construction, inspection services for the rehabilitation of South Fulton Avenue Bridge. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Yes, on the question, I don't think we really need to do an amendment on the floor because we've adjusted the legislation to reflect only one bridge right now. So we're just gonna vote on that one bridge.
Okay, anybody else? Any other questions? Roll call?
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
I have item number 5, an ordinance authorizing emergency mold abatement and repair services at Station 1, Lincoln Avenue Firehouse. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question, I'd just like to say that this is an issue that the firemen have been dealing with, for quite some time now. I'm glad that the administration is declaring, a state of emergency to have the mold abatement, taken out. It is a health hazard, and I'm glad they're, taking action. Roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
No. And the reason is, this should be covered under the capital projects work that needs to happen to several fire stations and not this, piecemeal type of work. Thank you.
Item number 6, an ordinance.
No.
Finish.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so Councilman Potteet, nay. Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes and 1 nay. The legislation does pass.
Thank you. Item number 6, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to commit the 10% non-federal matching share for the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for the South Third and South Columbus Flood Mitigation Project. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell, Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
I have item number 7, an ordinance amending ordinance number 3 adopted by the city council on June 26, entitled an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds for the purchase of a new vehicle for the Department of Public Works utilizing ARPA funds. So moved.
Second.
On the question? On the question?
On, on the question, so I also will not be supporting this legislation, because this vehicle is, I believe is unnecessary for the commissioner. Not that he didn't need a vehicle, but this size vehicle and it's the lack of fuel efficiency, and the expense, quite frankly. So just FYI on that one. That's it. Thank you, Council President.
What's the expense?
The expense
Anyone
is
else?
72,000.
Who's the lower in price? Anybody else on the question?
If
Go
I
ahead.
can on the question, yeah, well, I do think, I agree, I do think the vehicle is needed, however, we also have to utilize these ARPA funds before December 31st of this year. We have to make sure that these funds are appointed to something, so.
Oh, we don't have a lack of needs.
So that's what I want to add in there.
Anybody else?
Yeah, the way it was explained to me is that the type of work that the commissioner does and the conditions that he's in, he needs a special vehicle, and that this is kind of like the bare minimum. That's what my understanding.
No, that was, sorry, Council President, Mayor.
Councilwoman Brown?
That was reasoning that was shared, but
Yeah.
is the commissioner the only one who needs to show up to an emergency, or do other members of his team need to show up? And do they all need this vehicle, or are they able to get there in their vehicles?
Yeah, I don't think everyone shows up to all the emergencies, no.
But he's not the only one to an emergency, right? Right, so he wouldn't be the only person who needs this. Like, for example, our OEM director, he has to show up to the emergencies. He doesn't need a Tahoe to show up to an emergency. So I think those are just things we need to consider.
Okay, anybody else? All right, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Oh, I almost said, nay,
Councilman,
it's late.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes, 1 nay. The legislation still passes.
Thank you. I have ordinance number 8, an ordinance authorizing an emergency contractual agreement with PCI Industries for sewer repair and 656 Hanover Place. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. I have ordinance thank you. In ordinance number 9, authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an emergency contractual agreement with PCI Industries, Inc. for emergency sewer repairs at 27 Vernon Place. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Thank you. I have item number 10, an ordinance authorizing the attendance of Monica Hughes and Milton Van at the 2024 Catalyst Experience hosted by Roll Water Lab. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
I have item number 11, an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds to the 2024 city council expense account for the purchase of furniture and office supplies. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
I have item number 33. A resolution of the City Council of City of Mount Vernon, New York, recognizing and honoring the services of Bracella and Mastro Auto Collision Specialists. So moved.
Second.
On the question? I just wanted to congratulate them on their 85 years, even though the other night I said 100 years, but it was 85 years. And I knew that because we were at the celebration, but that's a huge investment in Mount Vernon for staying here so long. And we thank the Donna Ortieri and Dominica Mastrogiacomo for their continued investment in Mount Vernon. Roll call?
Councilman Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
I have item number 34, a resolution appointing commissioners of deeds for the city of Mount Vernon, 2024 to 2026. Before we move it, I'm looking at Antoinette's title. It says legislative aid. Her official title, I believe, is assistant. Should we correct this before we move this?
You can measure on the floor.
Are we sure that the other titles are accurate? Corp counsel?
I have not seen the list. So I wasn't even gonna vote on it, to be quite honest with you. I haven't seen it yet.
I believe they are accurate.
Alright. I also don't have a signature page for this legislation. Just kidding. All right, so I've corrected that so that it wouldn't need to be an amendment on the floor. So moved. No, I never moved it. I amended the legislation before we moved it, so that we didn't have to amend it on the floor. Right, so typically what happens is we move to vote on it, then we realize there's a mistake, so then we have to go back and amend the legislation that we were voting on. To alleviate that, I amended this actual legislation that I'm gonna sign to reflect assistant. And then we can vote on this version here. Did he second?
Not yet. You ready?
I mean,
Maybe.
Yes, so after today, but it's not, you're not gonna see the legislation, you can see what you're saying. So, we're gonna need to know.
From aide to assistant.
Yeah, it's just.
Councilmember Brown, it's from aide to assistant, right?
That's all.
That's the change.
yeah, from aide to assistant. Well, now that I'm looking at this list, we have a commissioner of deed for former city council member. Why is that? This list? So who created this list? So why would we, I don't understand have we done that in the past? Do you know? Okay,
I know that in the past, the Commissioner of Deeds had extended from city council because it had been extended to the library services and but not somebody outside of city government, as far as I know. We did Commissioner of Deeds at the library.
so I actually don't feel comfortable, yeah.
Please speak into the microphone.
Okay, so the mayor has the liberty of assigning the commissioner of deeds. And so she assigns up to 200 people, I believe. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are an employee or a staff of City Hall.
Okay, I mean, if you want me to put it on the agenda so you all can vote, I'm happy to do that, but I don't feel comfortable supporting that without having more information. So let me know what the body of the council would like.
There's no issue in, get on the next meeting.
Can I see the list, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
So
It's
the only
not
issue,
coming through. I'm sorry, guys. I don't feel like going through 40 pages and trying to.
Yeah, let's just hold.
Isn't there a time frame on it that we need to meet or?
It's already expired or?
yeah, expired yesterday, I believe.
We have other commissioner of deeds where it hadn't expired.
Yes, there is another.
Okay, I can't vote on this.
You got more information or no?
Let's just hold it. Yeah, let's hold it.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I think we're all on the same page. We'll go ahead and hold it on the floor.
Unless you want to make an amendment to the list. I mean, I can't vote on it, so.
No,
I
I
have to
don't
abstain.
feel comfortable making an amendment.
We're holding it, but.
Okay, we're holding it on the floor?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, so that item number 34 is being held on the floor. All right, I have a resolution authorizing the appointment of Gita Morris to the Charter Revision Commission. To fill a vacancy pursuant to section 268G of the Mount Vernon City Code. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell, Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye. All right, moving right along. We are going into human resources. Councilman Thompson.
Thank you. I have item number 12, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Westchester County Office of Senior Programs and Services. So move.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell. Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Potteet.
Aye.
Councilman Thompson.
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Item number 13, I have an ordinance authorizing the mayor to retroactively enter into an agreement with Bedrock Entertainment for videography services for the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau Ready for Life program. So move.
Second.
On the question?
On the question, so I definitely understand Executive Director Burrell's reasoning for needing it. But I think we fall into a bad habit of entering into agreements without having legal counsel review it first. So for that reason, I really think that we need to follow the procurement policy, so I won't be able to support this because of that.
Understood. Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxell.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown.
Nay.
Councilman Potteet.
Aye.
Councilman Thompson.
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay, we have 4 ayes, 1 nay. The legislation passes.
I have item number 14, an ordinance authorizing the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau to hang banners and signs at various locations to discourage or prevent opioid misuse. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Potteet.
Aye.
Councilman Thompson.
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Item number 15, I have an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Flying Classroom for the Mount Vernon Youth Bureau Saturday STEAM program, which operates October 5th, 2024 to November 23rd, 2024 in the amount of $18,000. So move.
Second.
On the question?
Assistant Corporation Counsel, has this agreement been reviewed and finalized, ready for signature?
It's been reviewed, waiting to get the signature. But it's okay.
From the opposing side? Or from our side, you're saying?
From both sides, actually. I didn't send it out yet.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I have a question. So it's been reviewed and there's no issues with the contract that you could see?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Potteet.
Aye.
Councilman Thompson.
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
And if I may, I would like to take items 16 to 23 as a block vote. So move.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, this is a motion to take a block vote for items 16 through 23. Roll call? Knock it off.
You not reading the?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
You need a motion
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Okay, so roll call to take the block vote. Councilman Boxell.
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Potteet.
Aye.
Councilman Thompson.
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. And items 16 through 23 reads as such. Item number 16 is a resolution of the City Council of Mount Vernon to recognize Sydney DeCombie for White Clops 2024 annual celebration. Item 17 is White Clops celebration to honor Greater Hudson Valley in the chapter of the Lynx. Item number 18 is White Clops celebration, a resolution honoring Linda Jacobs. Item number 19 is White Clops celebration. It's a resolution from the City Council honoring Lieutenant Krista Mann. Item 20 is Wyckoff's celebration, a resolution from City Council honoring Amira Roberts. Item number 21 is also Wyckoff celebration for a resolution from City Council to honor Jennifer Radraska. Item number 22 is Wyckoff celebration. It's a resolution honoring Loretta J. Hottinger. And item 23 is a resolution from the City Council of Mount Vernon, New York, recognizing the service and commitment to the Very Right Reverend Derek Adams to the office of Bishop Designate. So moved.
Second.
On the question. Just want to congratulate all the honorees and especially Bishop Designate Adams. This is very exciting for him. When Assistant Pastor Patrice Wildsmore was made Assistant Pastor, they kind of announced it that day, so he was shocked. So I wish him the best of luck. I believe the ceremony is on Saturday, I believe, the 28th, yes. Anyway, with that being said, roll call.
Councilman Boxell. Councilwoman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Potteet.
Aye.
Councilman Thompson.
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Moving on, there are no add-ons for that. Moving on, we have Public Safety and Codes, Councilman Potteet.
Thank you, Council President Gleason. Item number 24. An ordinance authorizing the Department of Buildings to solicit a request for proposal for outside contract services for fire, safety, and property maintenance and inspections of multi-dwelling and non-residential properties. So moved.
Second.
On the question,
On the question, I'll give a comment, then I'll ask our Corporation Counsel too. Again, this was asked by our commissioner. He had done a sole source back in June, and we said, please come back in September and issue an RFP. There was a question on the floor about does this violate the union contract that we have? So I'll let Assistant Corporation Counsel address that.
Our recommendation, based on the fact that we have a letter from the state with a time frame with respect to this, is that we can move forward. We are still having conversations with not only the unions, but also civil service with respect to this matter. And civil service at least saw the letter and understand kind of taking a back seat right now. So we're negotiating. All right, want me to start it over?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our recommendation is that we can move forward with respect to this. We understand that the state has a time limit on us, that we must get this done. We've had conversations with civil service. They saw the letter, and we're going to have conversations with the union with respect to this. So at this particular point, we're saying we can move forward and continue our negotiations.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, did you say that the union said that there was no union issue or?
No, I
there's
did not say that.
Ongoing conversation.
Ongoing conversation.
On the question?
The one thing that I would say is this is a mandate from the state. So if we don't move forward with this, again, we have a letter from the state clearly saying that they've looked at DOB, the Department of Buildings. They have asked for certain items for us to do. This is one of the big ones. So I would recommend that we move forward with this, just to honor the audit that we have from the state.
So what I'll say is, Council President, if I may.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you speak and then I'll say what I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's important to figure out exactly, right? There's no mandate that can require us to violate the law. That's first, right? Second of all, I think we're still early in the stage, right? This is just a RFP and technically all contracts need to come back to council. So I'm hoping by the time that we actually come back to council that we would have had these conversations and everything would have been cleared and we can be advised on with confidence that we are in the clear with this.
With that being said, this is an RFP and I'm comfortable moving it forward. But again, before these items are placed on the agenda, I mean, I honestly don't think that we have enough time to review, right? And I've had that conversation with the mayor recently. This particular item going out for proposal, I have no problem, okay? Because like what Councilwoman Brown said, the contracts will end up coming back. We absolutely cannot go forward after this point if there's any type of union issues, because I'm not interested in fighting grievances over something that we could have prevented at this, after this request for proposal.
That is
Okay,
correct.
so with that being said, roll call unless anybody else has something else to say. All right, go ahead, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay.
Item number 25 from the IDA, an ordinance granting permission to the mayor to enter into an agreement with Con Ed to conduct a test borehole for the thermal energy network pilot project at the Doles Center. So moved.
Second,
On the question,
on the question,
go ahead, Councilwoman Brown.
Assessor Corporation Council, has this agreement been reviewed? We're good for signature?
It has not been reviewed yet.
Thank you.
And there's two comments that I have, which is, as Director Mack had stated, this is a test borehole. This is not moving forward with Con Ed. I fully expect that they come back with their MWBE plan before we vote on doing this going forward, if we vote on doing this going forward. The second comment that I have is I've been approached by a few constituents and would like further information as to why, and they asked me this, why is Con Ed coming here and not New Rochelle or Yonkers? And why did they choose to come to Mount Vernon instead of choosing to go to another city? So I just put that on the record and hopefully we'll get answers before we move forward.
Any other questions?
So, yeah, so to Ed's point, that was my direct question to Con Ed when they presented to the council, and I asked them in maybe 3-4 different ways, and I never got an answer to the question besides that we were lucky, right? This is revolutionary technology, according to them, and this is going to be like, you know, leading the way going forward. And I kept saying, why Mount Vernon? Why are we so lucky? Why us? Why us? And that question wasn't answered for me satisfactory. And also the other question was that I had for them was, tell me about the potential safety hazards, you know, any byproducts, anything. And they just kept saying that there are absolutely no potential hazards. And I never got an answer other than that there's absolutely no hazards. And I'm not a scientist, but is that even possible? You know, I mean, they might be small or might be low but I find it hard to believe that there are absolutely no potential hazards with this technology. So for that reason, I don't think I'm comfortable supporting this legislation tonight.
Anybody else have a question? Councilman Thompson?
Yeah, I know I've heard several things about this Con Ed project, and you know, I did a little studying after we gathered information as well. You know, because the boreholes are about the width of your thumb to actually go down and test. And actually, when you talk about anything concerning thermal energy is safer than the actual energies that are being used. So I would be comfortable with them doing a test borehole to see if we would even qualify for Con Ed to be utilized in that capacity within our community. Testing that site And then actually, if it is approved later on down the road, the actual dwelling would be erected on Seventh Avenue and Third Street, right next to the firehouse, on their lawn. So, I'm comfortable with having a test just to see if we would qualify for that area, and then the capabilities of the savings for those people in the surrounding areas, was intriguing as well. So that's all.
Anybody else? Okay, also, I would bring up your concerns to, Robin Mack, who's been working, with Con Ed. All right, roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Again, I'm gonna say no, and I just want to be clear. I'm not saying that this is not great technology. This is not gonna be good for the city. I don't know that, but my concern about potential hazards, that question was never answered, and that's why I'm saying no to this. So, thank you.
okay. Councilwoman Brown,
Abstention, don't know if the agreement is right for the city or anything, so.
okay. Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 ayes, 1 nay, 1 abstention. We will need a second vote for the legislation to pass.
Great. Item number 26 from the Department of Public Safety, and ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Westchester for replacement of the current single band VHF antenna with a tri-band antenna at the Mount Vernon Police Headquarters. So moved.
Second.
On the question. Hearing none?
Whoa,
Oh,
question,
sorry.
sorry. Assistant Corporation Counsel, has this agreement been reviewed and is ready for signature?
I'm sorry. This one hasn't been presented to me yet.
Thank you.
It hasn't been presented to me yet.
On the question? So, I'm going to say something. This is. I don't know. I gotta throw my hands up. Roll call.
Councilman Boxill,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Abstention, agreement hasn't been reviewed.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
I'm gonna abstain. Again, like, we need to have these contracts way in advance before this gets on our agenda, because I feel that this could potentially be a detriment to us if we sign something that has not been reviewed.
Okay, we have 3 ayes, 2 abstention. We will need a second vote.
Item number 27, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Westchester to accept mutual aid radios for use by the Mount Vernon Police Department. So moved.
Second.
On the question,
Same question for me, Council President.
this been, has the contract been has been reviewed?
Has not been presented yet.
Any other questions?
Is, my only question would be, this says, intermunicipal agreement, with the County of Westchester to accept. So are we just accepting something without, the cost for the mutual aid radios? Is that to my understanding? Yes. Because if there's no cost to the city, in that legislation, then I'm fine with moving with that. If it's just an acceptance of these radios.
The referral letter said that there's no cost.
So I'm fine with that. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Boxell,
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown,
Abstention, agreement hasn't been reviewed.
Councilman Potteet,
Aye.
Councilman Thompson,
Aye.
Council President Gleason.
Abstain, again, I think we're running a bad course without looking at these agreements. That there could potentially be any type of liability after they're signed. Go ahead, if you'd like to say something.
Yeah, I just want to get clear because as I see these, it's just given the, I don't know if authority is the right word, but authorizing for the mayor to enter into the contract.
I'm trying to open.
So-
mine.
Especially with these intermunicipal contracts, sometimes we just don't have them. I mean, I think we can vote for her to enter into the contract, but we're not going to enter into it, sign it until it's negotiated. So, you know, it's kind of, to me, a little strange to get contracts, start negotiating on them and working on them if I don't even know this is something that's going to come up.
When you say something that's gonna come up.
It's going to make it to a city council.
Well, so I guess my question to you is, who's advising the city council on whether or not this agreement is worthy of entering? Wouldn't it be Assistant Corporation Counsel or?
Yes. Yes.
Right, and that's not happening right now.
Right, but what I'm saying is that there's what the legislation says is that they're authorizing her to do it. So she can do it, but we're not going to do it until the contract is actually negotiated. So if you're telling me that what we need to do is that we have to negotiate these contracts prior to us getting here, then I guess we can do that, but sometime we may get stuck on negotiating a contract that we ultimately then don't enter into.
But
So it's a
then
waste of time.
that's the course of the business. If they're not negotiated before they come to council, council doesn't know the terms, so we're voting blindly.
Yeah, but
Right.
we don't do that all the time. There are many times that we get these contracts, we have this, we authorize, and then I negotiate and get the contract, especially the IMAs. They come in super late sometimes. But the business has already been happening and we started working with the county.
Council President?
Councilman Potteet,
Maybe a solution here would be going forward. With something like this, the legislation may or should read, we will allow the mayor to enter into a negotiation with the county. However, any signing of the contract needs to be presented to city council prior to it being signed. That way, to your point, you could have, or that we could have the mayor start those conversations. But once there's a physical contract, to Councilmember Brown's point, we don't see that contract. So part of the referrals that we get should also say that contract should come back to us once it's actually in final
So,
If
Council
the
President,
ten-
may I say something? I'm sorry. So
Councilwoman Brown.
thank you. So the fact that Corporation Council doesn't have these agreements, I find to be problematic because they're in I legislate, right? So if the team was to go into I legislate, and I'm sure whoever was working with I legislate from your office can see that the agreements are in there. I think there needs to be a system from someone who's representing the law department when we have the referral meetings that they provide you with the agreements. Because if I look at I legislate, the agreement's already in there.
All right, if the agreement is there, then I could pull it up. I don't, if I don't see it, I don't know that it's always there. So if it's there, then there's not a problem. I'll
But
take
that's what
care
I'm
of it.
saying, right? And
But I don't think it's always there.
and the purpose of the referral meeting is, and because I know since I've been on council, I've consistently asked for these contracts and consistently have asked for them to be reviewed. And I'm pretty sure that the clerk's office is aware of that and they've made a note of it in the referrals office, but I'll let the clerk speak to it.
Can I speak, Council President?
Yes.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
so,
Clerk Walters, go ahead.
thank you. So every referral meeting, we, ask the law department if the contract hasn't been reviewed. If council, Corporation Counsel Powell is on, we discuss the contract and he would state that he will review it, and I'd ask that he provide some type of guidance to the council so they can move forward with an informed vote on Monday.
That's correct.
Well, if I can, Council President,
Yes, Councilwoman Brown?
I mean, Assistant Corporation Counsel just affirmed that, he's asked for that, but I haven't received any guidance, right? As far as, you know, whether or not, I don't know if other council members have received guidance on whether or not we're cool to enter into these contracts, right? So I think there's a hole in the system.
Go ahead, Corporation Counsel.
Hmm. It would be nice for the departments to send us the contracts. They used to send us the contracts. So if all the contracts now are just stuck in I legislate, then I could look for that. But I don't get a chance to see I legislate until we have a legislative meeting.
Understood.
So-
I'm gonna comment on this and then we're gonna move forward, right? So my contention with this is nothing should make it to the agenda until it's been reviewed by Corporation Counsel. And I think that that's a really important thing, and I understand. If the departments do not get you the contracts, and if the clerk cannot help in that process or what have you, then I think you guys have to go to the mayor's office and basically state what's happened, right? And I think communication between departments is very important. With that being said, we're not gonna have, I think we've said enough on this subject. We've had our voices heard. Let's move on. We did the roll call already. It was 3 2 abstention. We are on item number 28, I believe.
Item number 28.
Wait,
Depart-
did we-
needs a second vote. She just has to put that on record.
Second vote
We have 3 ayes, 2
and 2
abstentions.
abstentions.
We will need a second vote to pass legislation.
Item number 28 from the Department of Public Safety and Ordinance, authorizing the increase in funding for the position of personal associate in the Department of Public Safety and reappropriating funds from a vacated position formerly titled as personal specialist. So moved.
Second,
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxell? Councilwoman Brown?
aye.
Councilman Potteet?
Aye.
Councilman Thompson?
Aye.
Council President Gleason?
Aye?
Okay.
Item number 29 from Public Safety and Ordinance, authorizing the mayor to enter into a renewal contract agreement with the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets for fuel inspection and testing services. So moved.
Second,
On the question?
Assistant Corporation Counsel, I assume you know where I'm going with this?
I haven't reviewed it yet.
What did you say?
Yes, not.
Okay. All right, on the question, roll call.
Councilman Boxell?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown?
Abstention, same reason, agreement hasn't been reviewed.
Councilman Potteet?
Aye.
Councilman Thompson?
Aye for the renewal.
Council President Gleason?
I have to abstain if it has not been reviewed.
Okay. We have 3 ayes, 2 abstention. We will need a second vote.
Item number 30 from the Department of Public Safety and Ordinance, amending ordinance number 45, adopted by the City Council on August 14th, 2024, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Electronic Systems Solutions, ESS, for the installation and maintenance of a citywide camera surveillance system. So moved.
Second,
On the question,
On the question, I just want to give kudos to Commissioner Gibson and Commissioner Perez and the mayor's office for jumping on the question that I had about the cost overruns. They did work to go back to the vendor, renegotiate the vendor's price and minimize the cost overrun to the city. So this is a small example, but a good example of interdepartmental and various parts of the city working with each other, not against each other.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Councilman Boxill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Potteet?
Emphatic aye.
Councilman Thompson?
Aye.
Council President Gleason?
I think this is very important and very helpful to the police department and desperately needed.
Item number 31 from City Council, a local law to amend chapter 267 zoning of the code of the city of Mount Vernon to regulate short-term rentals. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilman Boxill?
Aye.
Councilman Potteet?
Aye.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's 9:51 p.m. Councilwoman Brown?
Aye.
Thank you. Councilman Potteet?
Aye, again.
Councilman, thank you. Councilman Thompson?
Aye.
Council President Gleason?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 32, last one on our agenda. City Council, a local law establishing a local government code enforcement program in the city of Mount Vernon, New York. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Yes, Clerk Walters.
Thank you, Council.
Somebody outside of council.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to acknowledge, because I'm sure this will be brought up, we did receive one written comment. I didn't get to acknowledge that on Monday night's meeting. And I know the council is aware of the comment. And so just want to acknowledge on record that we did receive one written comment for this meeting, for this local law.
Okay, anything else? All right, roll call.
Councilman Boxill? Councilwoman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Potteet?
Aye.
Councilman Thompson?
Aye.
Council President Gleason?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, I'm limiting everybody's comments. Okay. There's a lot of events this week. Tomorrow night, there's YCOP. Friday, there's YSOW. Youth Shelter of Westchester. I'm gonna let Clerk Walters speak in just a moment. Saturday, what do we have Saturday? We have Bishop Bishop Designate Adams ceremony. Let me see what else. Saturday at 11. Anybody else have anything to say and limit it to 35 seconds? Oh, Clerk Walters, go right ahead.
Thank you, Council President. Just want to remind everyone that this Saturday at City Hall in the Memorial Room from 12 noon until 9 p.m. is the local voter registration. So if you have not yet registered to vote, please come to City Hall this Saturday, starting at noon, and you have until 9 p.m. at night, right? You can come to register to vote. You can also come to pick up an absentee ballot. That's it, Council President.
I'll entertain, wait, does somebody else have something to say? All right. Motions,
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
roll call?
Councilman Boxill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Potteet?
Aye.
Councilman Thompson?
Aye.
Council President Gleason?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, good night, Mount Vernon. Thank you for joining us. Today is September 25th, 2024. We appreciate you being here.